US media shocked. Jungkook's leather jacket stole the spotlight from Meta's first K-pop event. What happens when the world's biggest technology giant joins forces with the most influential music wave on the planet, K-pop, only to be upstaged by a single fashion choice? Could it be that a leather jacket worn by BTS's golden magne Jungkook has shaken the balance between technology, music, and celebrity culture in ways no one predicted? Or is this moment proof that global audiences still care more about the aura of a superstar than the innovations of Silicon Valley? Tonight, as headlines spiral across US media, we confront a question that feels almost impossible to ignore. Did Jungkook's black leather jacket truly eclipse Meta's billion-dollar attempt to own the future of entertainment? It was supposed to be a landmark evening. Seoul, September 29, 2025, the date now carved into K-pop history as the first time Meta officially stepped into the glittering world of Korean pop with a listening party that promised to blend music, technology, and immersive reality. The collaboration centered on CXM, the brand new mini-unit born from Seventeen's hip-hop powerhouse Choi Sungchul and Mingyu, presenting their debut mini-album Hype Vibes. Fans had been buzzing for weeks about how Meta would translate its vision of a borderless digital stage into the K-pop universe. But as soon as Jungkook walked into the room, all of that dissolved. Yes, Jungkook didn't take the microphone. He didn't even stand on stage. He wasn't there to promote a new single, and he wasn't aligned directly with Meta's bold corporate plans. He simply arrived, draped in a perfectly tailored, jet black motorcycle leather jacket, and suddenly, the event no longer belonged to Meta or even to Seventeen's trailblazing subunit. It belonged entirely to him. Cameras shifted, reporters typed furiously, and in the hours that followed, US outlets, from New York fashion editors to Hollywood lifestyle reporters, splashed Jungkook's jacket across their homepages. The headline was no longer Meta revolutionizes K-pop. It was Jungkook's leather look sparks global frenzy. And the world demanded answers. Why did a leather jacket become bigger news than Meta's debut into K-pop? Was this a testament to Jungkook's unparalleled star power, or a sign that tech cannot compete with the raw magnetism of an idol who commands the gaze of millions without even trying? And perhaps the deeper, more uncomfortable question, does Meta's failure to dominate the narrative reveal that the future of K-pop will never be dictated by Silicon Valley, but instead by the very idols who embody it? The night was supposed to belong to Meta. Every sign pointed toward a carefully choreographed tech debut, one meant to dazzle both the industry and the fans. Invitations had been exclusive, the stage design was wrapped in mystery, and whispers of cutting-edge virtual integration swirled like smoke across online forums. Insiders teased that the event would redefine how audiences experience music, fusing Meta's latest immersive platforms with K-pop's natural theatricality. This was not just another listening party, it was branded as the beginning of a new era. But then the cameras caught something entirely unplanned. At exactly 8:42 p.m. Seoul time, a ripple passed through the crowd. A subtle shift in energy, the kind you cannot fake and cannot manufacture. People stopped mid-sentence. Flashbulbs cracked the air. And there he was, Jungkook, stepping into the venue as though the universe itself had rearranged to spotlight him. No entourage fanning him, no excessive dramatics. Just Jungkook in that sleek, impossibly tailored black motorcycle leather jacket, the kind that seems to whisper rebellion and luxury in the same breath. The sheen of the Napa leather caught the dim light, and in that instant, the carefully built Meta spectacle unraveled. Who could have predicted that one man's jacket could shift global headlines overnight? Was this a fluke, or was it inevitable, given Jungkook's history of redefining the very concept of star power? And more importantly, if fashion moments can overshadow billion-dollar technology launches, what does that mean for the future of K-pop's relationship with Silicon Valley? Because let's be honest, this wasn't just any man. This was Jungkook, the youngest of BTS, the artist who can send luxury brands scrambling to restock with a single Instagram post. This was the same Jungkook who, only weeks earlier at New York Fashion Week, made jaws drop in Calvin Klein's oversized khaki suit, dominating global coverage. That moment had been hailed as his grand entrance into the post-military, post-hiatus fashion landscape. Yet somehow, this black jacket in Seoul felt even more seismic. Unlike the polished, industry-expected fashion show look, this was raw, more intimate, more untamed. A jacket worn not for a runway but for life. And perhaps that's why it struck with such ferocity. Across the room, you could sense the panic. Meta executives, who had rehearsed for weeks to emphasize the revolutionary fusion of their technology with K-pop, were suddenly drowned out by the roar of clicking shutters aimed not at their presentation screens, but at Jungkook's silhouette. The irony was brutal. Here stood Meta, a company that had spent billions engineering virtual avatars to replicate charisma, only to be rendered invisible by the very real, very human magnetism of one idol in leather. BY the time Choi Sungchul and Mingyu, CXM's pioneering duo, took the stage to perform their opening track, Pulse Rider. Audience members were already refreshing social media feeds for a closer look at Jungkook's jacket. Threads appeared on X, headlines erupted in the US, and within minutes, the listening party had ceased to be about Meta's tech or even 17's bold experiment. Instead, America's biggest outlets began asking a question that Meta executives could not have anticipated. Did Jungkook just hijack the future of tech entertainment with a leather jacket? Now the controversy was alive. Fashion magazines in New York described him as a phantom of Seoul street culture brought to life. Business outlets in Los Angeles lamented that Meta's billion-dollar showcase was reduced to a backdrop for a jacket. And fans across platforms pushed a new viral tag, #LeatherJungkook, outpacing Meta's official hashtag for the event. And yet, the strangest part? Jungkook hadn't said a word. He hadn't promoted the jacket. He hadn't joined the performances. He simply existed, and that was enough to derail Silicon Valley's carefully crafted narrative. How does one explain power like that? Is it charisma? Is it aura? Or is Jungkook operating at a level of influence that can no longer be measured by traditional metrics? The US media obsession. From tech headlines to fashion frenzy, how could it be that within just hours of the event, the story circulating across America was not about Meta's first major K-pop collaboration, but about Jungkook's jacket? Was this sheer negligence by the press? Or was it proof of a deeper truth about the way Western media prioritizes celebrity allure over technological progress? The morning after the event, American outlets released their coverage. Yet instead of focusing on CXM's bold hype vibes debut or Meta's technological showcase, nearly every headline carried a single thread: Jungkook's presence. The Hollywood Reporter framed it bluntly: Meta's big bet on K-pop overshadowed by Jungkook's leather storm. Meanwhile, Vogue US couldn't help but craft a fashion-centric editorial titled Jungkook's Soul Moment, the jacket that outshone Silicon Valley. Even Bloomberg, a publication rarely indulgent in celebrity styling, opened their cultural recap with a rhetorical dagger. If Meta wanted to own K-pop's future, why was every camera on Jungkook? It was as though the American press had collectively decided that Meta's event existed merely as a stage set for Jungkook's jacket. And perhaps, in some sense, they weren't wrong. After all, pictures of CXM's performance drew thousands of likes. Pictures of Jungkook in leather drew millions. Fashion blogs exploded with think pieces on how Korean street style in 2025 had crowned leather jackets the king of the year. Sales platforms like Leather Cult reported overnight surges in traffic, with global fans scrambling to pre-order jackets that echoed Jungkook's silhouette.